A brand new Pokemon that can terrorize our dreams has been discovered in the Crown Tundra, the noble steed of the King of Bountiful Harvests, Spectrier. Though it seems to have a graceful appearance and is under the command of our friend GatorEX, it might be one of the spookiest Pokemon yet. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, this is The Legend of Spectrier. The story of the Crown Tundra sees us helping GatorEX to regain its full power and its noble steed after losing both by being forgotten. Overall, it's in line with much of the story throughout the rest of the Galar region, of legendary Pokemon being forgotten and history being recorded and remembered differently than how it actually occurred. Due to this, GatorEX himself can't even really remember which Pokemon he used to ride. But if you choose it to be Spectrier, then I guess that's what's canon, and that's what I did in my playthrough, so let's go with that. So, Spectrier is honestly a terrifying Pokemon, a pure ghost type that prefers isolation, which is why it spends most of its time in the Crown Tundra. However, being left on its own without GatorEX is probably a bad idea. Usually, ghost Pokemon are at the very least vaguely related to death, but Spectrier is practically a force of, if not death itself. Its Pokédex entry state: it probes its surroundings with all its senses, save one, it doesn't use its sense of sight. Spectrier's kicks are said to separate soul from body. As it dashes through the night, Spectrier absorbs the life force of sleeping creatures. It craves silence and solitude. So from this we learn a few things, the first being that it doesn't wish to interact with humans or anything else for that matter. And this fact, along with its abilities, give it a bad reputation. If you heard stories of a Pokemon that can kick your soul out of its body and steals life forces, you'd be smart to leave it be. But things become clear when you look at the few people who might have any knowledge of its existence. They live in a small, snow-covered village, far away from anything else. The King of Bountiful Harvests has abandoned them, if he even existed in the first place. All they have are their legends as a tourist trap and their crops, which don't even grow that well as of late. Their way of life is threatened by the elements of the very place they call home. Death and freezing seem like inevitable forces of nature. And so when GatorEX lost its power and its steed, everybody just decided to stay the heck away from this horse. And Spectrier had no complaints. Without GatorEX or the people, it was able to live the life that it thought was the ideal one, a life of isolation. The thing is, its ability to drain life forces doesn't even seem like something it even cares about using. If it's a Pokemon that prefers to be alone, why would it specifically seek out people or Pokemon to steal the life forces of? If so, the legends of this Pokemon would probably be even greater and nobody would have forgotten about it or GatorEX. Draining life forces might just be something it does naturally, without even plotting to do so. Maybe just as it's passing by in the night, it feeds off the life forces of living things, due to its ghostly nature. All of this gives it a reputation that boils down to being called nothing but a bully in an old folk song. Spectrier is probably just more of a force of nature. The fact that its eyes are closed and it doesn't use its sense of sight could be a way to show that it's relatively indiscriminate. Maybe. When it comes to what Spectrier could possibly be based off of or take influence from, well, I'll say that there is no shortage of ghost horses in mythology, but I think Spectrier really works best on its own. Plus, the whole mythology thing, breaking it down in Pokemon videos, isn't exactly my area of expertise. I mean, unless we're talking about the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which is my expertise. And is a connection that people have brought up, but I'm not too sure about it. There's the obvious connection of it possibly being the Black Horse of Famine, even though Spectrier might better symbolize death, the Pale Horse, and this connection is kind of rendered irrelevant by its fusion. And then there's that it's not even scratching the surface of the Horsemen, but trust me, we're not ready to open that can of worms. Nobody is. But regardless, Spectrier works best as possibly a representation of death itself, being part of nature, but also works well when paired with GatorEX. The relationship between Spectrier and GatorEX is interesting. GatorEX being the King of Bountiful Harvests, thus an embodiment of life, and Spectrier being an embodiment of death. They're practically opposites, but somehow come together into one and work in perfect harmony. Through taming this beast of the wild, GatorEX gains more power and is able to travel even further, spreading life and saving people and Pokemon. While GatorEX is also a legendary Pokemon and thus a force of nature, it makes Spectrier seem less scary, showing that when the two can come together, they can do more good for all. Maybe Spectrier just needed a purpose. And that purpose is to help GatorEX with defending the people of the Galar region, bringing life to their crops. And so its supposed nature of wanting isolation and potentially unintentionally stealing life forces is kind of irrelevant in the fact that its nature of being a horse that can be a strong steed for GatorEX and do good for the people of Galar is what's better. And so this has been The Legend of Spectrier. But anyway, hey, this is GatorEX, and let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on Spectrier? How does it fit into things? Do you like Spectrier? A lot of what I said for Spectrier could kind of basically also be said for Glastrier as well, but I mean, I think they're pretty cool Pokemon. I think mostly, especially when combined with GatorEX, but GatorEX's story I really did like. We're going to be coming out with some more Crown Tundra videos. This week, though, we're focusing on spooky stuff as things build up toward Halloween, so stick around for that. If you got any last-minute suggestions, I don't know if I can still get to them, but just stay tuned. They're pretty neat as well, but yeah, stay tuned. We'll have some other cool announcements as well, especially because I think at the time of recording and posting all of this, the channel should have 10,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. That means a lot, and we'll work out a celebration, a special after Halloween for all this, because we're focusing on Halloween. And thank you for showing up to the streams as well, which I'm getting all the footage from, because now also, I guess, an update. Finally, I've got a good computer to be able to stream the Nintendo Switch footage. So streams hopefully every Friday, and they're going to be good stuff, especially with all the game releases now out, or every time a new Pokemon game release, I suppose. But yeah, it's just getting so fun, so excited here on the channel. Cannot do it without you guys watching, and of course your comments are always so fun to read. And you know, when we chat, and especially in live streams, we chat a lot. But yeah, if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can enable notifications. Click that bell icon. Make you a member of the spooky Chingling squad. Anyway, this has been GatorEX, and I call this meeting of the Midnight Society closed. Done. Adjourned. How do I say this? Good night.